Hi, I'm Christopher Snyder with The Collective at Scout North in Cape Girardeau, and I'm here today with two of the board members of Street Level in Cape Girardeau. If you want to introduce yourself and tell us
I'm
a little
Nancy
about yourself.
Huckstep. I am the secretary of the board, and I have been with the organization a little over 3 years.
I'm Kathy Kramer. I'm not currently on the board, but a super volunteer and who plans to come back for activity on the board in the future.
So, Kathy, why did you get involved with the mission of Street Level?
I actually have known Nancy for 40 years, and we're friends, and I saw her involved with the young lady who started it and giving things and how they were meeting a need, and personal stories from people that I knew who had experienced it, and it just spoke to my heart. And again, this is my hometown, and I wanted to be an uplifting person in our community.
Nancy, can you tell us a little bit about the mission of Street Level and then how you came to be involved in it?
Sure. The mission of Street Level is to aid, assist, and advocate for the homeless here in Cape Girardeau. And we really meet them right where they are. We don't judge them. We just love them unconditionally. I got started probably shortly after the organization became a nonprofit, and actually maybe a little bit before that. It was fledgling. It was one woman who started this organization. In 2020, during COVID, she started seeing the homeless because there was no place for them to get inside. And she'd drive the streets and she'd see these people walking around. So she'd stop and say, "Hey, brother, what do you need?" And so she started meeting those people with the things that they needed as much as she could, because she was one single individual. And she had her family that started helping her. Then they started feeding about once a month at the parks. Then they went to the Eagles. And then she found this lady, or this other lady found her, and she had some history with starting nonprofit organizations. And she helped her get it started. There were only 3 board members back then. And my daughter and I got started. We said, hey, we can do some of the social media things. We need to set up a meal train instead of people just volunteering. We need to make it more organized. And so we've just grown it over the last 3, really 4 years. And the reason I got involved is because I've lived here most of my life as well, just like Kathy. And it was breaking my heart to see people sitting on the street corners with signs or whatever it might be. And I had always kept things in my car to give, and I thought, okay, there's got to be a better way
To meet that need.
And this organization has helped me do that.
So, just to be clear, Street Level is a 503c, not for profit.
Yes.
It is an entity that has a tax status.
Yes.
That has to be reported to the federal government, or however that reporting works.
Through the state of Missouri.
Yes. And I think you guys have an accountant that you're working with now that's doing all this for you.
Yes.
Yep. And so, so that's all legit. This is all above board. We have reporting. We know where the money's going. We know what it's being taken care of.
Oh, we're actively compliant and have good governance and policies and rules and organization in place. And it's constantly being reviewed and improved.
And all of the money that comes in, if you get money, that stays inside the walls of Cape Girardeau.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so then the way people that are outside of the organization can help as a general concept is?
Well, really our biggest needs are hot meals.
Yes.
Because we feed them 4 days a week. And we ask that people bring 50 to 60 hot meals to us, individually wrapped, for those 4 days. We also provide a snack bag, which is tons of non-perishable items that helps kind of tie them over in between our meals.
And that, in my opinion, is one of the largest things you guys are doing, are the
Yes.
snack bags.
The majority of our donations come for snack bags. And it's things like tuna packets, Pop-Tarts, snack cakes, a drink, silverware, and we have
Peanut butter.
peanut butter, exactly, peanut butter and peanut butter crackers.
Yeah.
All those kinds of things that they can just snack on, but are kind of wholesome. Fruit cups, applesauce.
Yeah.
And we put out probably 200, if not more, a week.
Wow. And
For-
do you how many, a homeless person that comes to you or a person in need, how many of those do they get a
They
week.
get one each time we're open.
Okay. So
Well,
they could
3
get
days out of the 4 that we're open.
Okay, so they could get 3 a week snack bags
Yes.
and then 4 meals. And the meals are lunch, dinner, what are those?
Their lunch on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday is an evening meal.
Yes. Okay.
And Friday is one of the few days in our community that nobody else is hosting a meal.
Oh, okay.
If somebody else is doing it, it's once a month.
Okay.
And we do that every week.
And so this is all taking place at your office.
Yes.
And
Right.
are we sharing the address of the office? Is that a public thing?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. And where is that office?
It's 937 Broadway.
Yes.
But you enter from the lower level in the back off of Themis Street.
Okay. And over the how long have you guys been in that office?
About a year and a half.
In that year and a half, how have you seen the needs wax and wane of number of people coming?
When we first started in that office, we were seeing 25 to 30 people. Yesterday, we had 72.
Is that the highest you've ever seen?
Yes, yesterday was a record.
So
Every time I've served, I've seen 1 to 6 brand new
wow.
people.
I just got goosebumps.
Me too.
And
when you said
these
that.
are genuinely homeless people that are coming to
Genuine.
you all.
We've said, I'm going to get emotional saying this. We've said this for the last 6 months in my world that this is going to be one of our worst winters we've ever seen.
Right.
We all know a lot of the reasons why. This is not to be political, but our electricity is getting higher. Our property taxes have gone up. Our food is up. Our gas is up. All those things are up. And life doesn't get cheaper. It always gets more expensive. That's a known quantity. That's not anyone's individual fault necessarily. But all of that is piling on top of our residents of all communities. But I know in Cape specifically, we've had a water increase. We've had electricity specific increases. We've had property tax specific increases. And my fear going into this winter was there's the old adage that our electrical companies won't shut off your gas or electricity in the winter so that you don't die in your home of cold. My fear has been all year that we're not going to make it to winter, as in people are going to have their utilities shut off in September, October, November. And if you happen to Google shutoffs by our electric company in the state of Missouri, they're at the highest month after month right now that they've ever been. Hundreds of thousands every month right now are being shut off in our state.
I had 2 people approach me yesterday for help with their utilities because they had just been shut off.
And I work heavily with all of the counseling centers in town, CPCMO, community counseling centers, and the Gibson Center and Catholic Charities, housing a lot of these people in our apartments. And all of them are out of money.
Yes.
For rental assistance, for electricity assistance, for the SNAP program was off for a while. It's back on, but that is hurt. And all of these things are compiling against all of our citizens of Cape, not just the ones that are already homeless. So I'm fearful you guys are going to watch that number rise over the winter. Is that what you're preparing and expecting?
Yes.
I believe that it's going to rise. I always refer to the quote, we're only one event away
Everyone
from a very different life.
Everyone
And
of
I
us.
see it in social media. I'm very active trying to promote education about the homeless.
Yeah.
And I have worked every part of our business. And in the clothing closet one day, I met with a new person. He had a bachelor's degree. He had lost his job, then his home, then his car. And he looked at me and said, "How did I get here?"
Wow.
It is
He didn't even see it happening as it happened.
didn't even see it happening.
Yeah.
And every day on social media, in a variety of groups that I belong to, are people asking for the first time for help. I paid my rent. I have no groceries. There's a young lady standing on Broadway this week who has 3 kids, who has some disability income, but her landlord has asked her to leave, and she has a sign. She said, I have family here. They refuse to help me.
Yeah.
We have differences.
Yeah.
I have friends here. They have no extra money. I'm not homeless. So I had talked about street level. She said, I'm not homeless and I'm not out of food right now, but I don't know how to pay a deposit. I've got money for rent. How do I come up with a deposit? She stands on the street with her youngest child
Yeah.
and a sign that says, any amount will help.
So
How do you, that's so courageous.
there's 40 things to unpack in
and
what you
yes,
just said.
and yeah,
And we can't solve any one of them.
no.
And so the whole purpose of street level is you have a need today.
Yes.
Whether that's a shower, whether that's laundry, whether that's a car ride, whether that's food, and you guys can't meet all of those needs, right?
Right.
They're not.
And the amazing thing about our community, though, is we have a very generous community in most regards.
Yes.
And we have the support for all of these things in these other organizations, except the one piece that Street Level has done, which is go to the homeless and give them a place to be fed consistently throughout the week and then create relationships with them.
I think so. And behind that is the huge factor for me is that they feel seen
Yes.
and they feel safe.
Yeah.
For the most part, people do not look the homeless in the eye. I always say, if you can't give anything, give a smile and a wave.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that they exist. And that is one of the biggest things that Street Level has done.
Yeah.
They have acknowledged that they exist, and then they've met an immediate need right now. And what I see over and over again is they are not greedy in the sense of the normal thoughts of being greedy. Yeah. They're not asking you to give them 2 coats or 5 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
They do ask because it's survival mode, which again is a rabbit hole to go down.
Sure.
But they are grateful
Oh my gosh, yes.
and humble.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of yes, ma'am, yes, sir, Mrs., Mr. A lot of very polite, kind words coming from this population.
Yes.
As they are finally being seen and heard. So we had a meeting this last week at Grace Church on Broadway. What's that church called? Grace
Methodist.
Methodist, okay. And that is now home to Grace Methodist and
Compass Church.
Compass Church, right? Both of the Methodist flavor, I believe.
Yes.
And they have joined 2 churches in one building in community, and they had a warming shelter a few weeks ago because we had nights dropping well below freezing for a couple of days. And you guys were highly instrumental in sharing the word with our homeless friends that this existed.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about what the warming shelter may look like this winter and what that experience was and how it went?
I do want to acknowledge that Nancy's probably been working on that personally.
Yes.
Through every avenue she could uncover, dig,
Yes.
investigate,
Yes.
and search for.
Yes.
For probably 4 years.
Yeah.
And
And
it has been in her heart to keep these people off the street in extreme
Yes.
weather for a long time because she won't
Yeah.
thank herself.
And I also want to make it known that our city has not helped in this regard. And I am not against our city. I'm very critical of our city. I am the largest cheerleader when they do things well, but I will also hold them to account when they don't. If you've ever seen anything we've done on social media, you'll hear those. But in this instance, our city has not been helpful. And we need our city to get involved at some level and give us the ability to use probably some public buildings. We have elementary schools all throughout this community that could be used at least for cooling centers in the summertime at a bare minimum. Because guess what we have all paid for as property tax payers? We've paid for those buildings. We've paid for that light. We've paid for that cool. So those are things we could use as cooling centers, oddly spread throughout our community to service all of the needs of Cape. So I'm not trying to throw the city under the bus, but we got to have them get involved, and they have been a stumbling block thus far. And so it's all been private money, not-for-profits, churches, and organizations coming together.
Speaking along those lines, I have a question, and it
Yes,
kind
sir.
of just popped into my head. Are you all working with other agencies like Catholic Charities? Do you all work with them, or?
We refer a lot of people to them. The only agency that actually has helped us by providing a person as a resource is Community Partnership. I'm sorry, not Community Partnership, Community Counseling Center. But we refer a lot of people to Community Partnership and Catholic Charities, East Missouri Action Agency, all of those helping agencies.
And through social media, we share events like they have at the Shawnee Center, where a bunch of doctors, nurses, and health people come together and do that. We share food pantries. We share meals that
Any
are
kind of
going to
free
be at
meal.
other events, and so we
Clothing.
we welcome
Yeah.
the interaction.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the
Warming Center, yeah.
Warming Center,
Yeah.
however. Over the last 3, maybe 3.5 years, Street Level has not found anyone that consistently would help shelter the homeless population when it got cold.
Yeah.
And so we have been putting them up in the hotel for the last 3.5 years
Yes.
to the extent of well over $200,000 spent
Wow.
on private donations. That's all been funded by our very generous givers.
And all of that money is staying at local hotels in Cape Girardeau.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, there's only one hotel in town that will help us with that.
Yeah.
And they don't give us any kind of break. So last year, we spent a ton of money.
Yeah.
Probably close to $100,000 just last winter.
Yeah.
Are we going to name drop this hotel?
That's for you guys.
Yeah. That's,
It's the townhouse is the only place we'll allow. Now, they do have a sister, the Budget Inn, the sister hotel. And if we have overflow, we can go there.
Well,
but
that's-
it's not
that's
very
good.
practical.
Right.
Because, I'm sorry, it's Quality Inn, not Budget. Quality Inn. Because it's so far out.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really too far for them to walk.
Right. And that's another impediment.
It isn't. Transportation is a huge impediment. But going back to the warming center, last year the Salvation Army did have some nights that they provided the warming center, but it was not consistent.
Yeah.
And they didn't announce it ahead of time, and it was only for men. And I'm not slamming that.
Sure.
We
We
appreciate
need
all the
that
help
too.
we can
We need
get.
that
We
too.
needed that, but we had to take care of our folks,
Yeah.
and a lot of them have had some bad experiences with other helping agencies,
Yes.
and would not go to those other
Yeah.
helping agencies
wow.
such as the Salvation Army.
Sure.
So I was thrilled to death when Compass and Grace Methodist decided to open their doors
Yeah.
and to be so inviting.
Yeah.
They didn't have all the rules
Yeah. Hmm.
that they had last year. They'll let people in if they come after 10 o'clock. Yes, the doors are going to be locked, but they'll let somebody in. They're not
Sure.
going to turn them away.
Sure.
It's open to men, women, and families.
Yeah.
They'll let them out to smoke at night. That was
Yeah.
another huge impediment last year.
Wow.
And so I was thrilled when they had 10 people that first night,
Hmm.
and then 20 the second night.
And I was overwhelmed by the comment that was made at that meeting last week, that of the 10 that came the second night, 8 of them I think was on. So the church did a survey when they left, which was brilliant, by the way. I don't know whose
Yes.
idea that was, but to help understand how they got here, how they heard of. And so of the doubling on the second night, 8 of those 10 came because another homeless person told them about it. That community is connected.
They are very
talk.
connected.
Very connected,
Yes.
absolutely. The night before and 2 days before, my husband and I live close to the center of Cape, and we go through Kappaha Park on purpose to see our friends, our unsheltered friends. And I stopped and talked with 3 people and said, please go do a favor for Miss Kathy. Go to the warming center and give me your feedback. Even if you don't give it to them, come tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. Please do this for us so we can help you. And they were like, we're going.
Yes.
And they went and they gave feedback.
And the other part of that survey that was so impressive was that almost every person on there heard about this from street level. And so that brought up a good conversation that night, in my opinion, was consistency. And so
Yes.
lots of ideas were floated of like rotating churches or locations. And you guys immediately pushed back on that and said, you appreciate the offers, but we've got to have consistency that they know when it gets below 30, if they walk to this church, it should be open, whether they know about it or not.
Yes.
Or if they hear about a warming center open, they know where to go consistently. And if there is going to be any changes whatsoever, you guys have set yourselves in a position to be that through place of communication with them for whatever their needs
And
are.
even if it's a day when we're not at the office, more than likely one of us is in
Sure.
and out of there.
Right.
And what I did is we've got a picnic table outside the office, and I just put a sign there,
Put up a sign.
you know, and put a
Right.
sign on our door. And
Yeah.
they do look at that stuff. And
As you guys know, I have a family member that's gotten involved in this recently. And again, I'm an emotional human being, so these are hard for me to talk about. She and I were talking the other day, and she said every time she shows up, there's 3 guys standing outside, and every one of them, you know, say her name. Can I help you carry something in? Can we do something for you inside? They're always offering to help.
oh,
Oh, yes.
And
When
so
they're
they're
donors?
using this as a place for them to be comfortable, not just to meet their needs. Because they're being seen, they have a community that they've never had before outside of themselves.
Well, when you really think about being in survival mode,
Yeah.
a place where you feel safe enough to feel needed, that giving back, carrying something in.
Yeah.
I am contributing
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I'm important here.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, you learn through repetitive interaction
Yeah.
that that is needed, because your first reaction is I'm serving you.
Yeah.
But that's a separation. That's another line to cross. So erasing those lines and seeing just each other as human beings. I need to give, they need to give.
And when I first started, I didn't ask for their help. I really didn't. I kind of got to the point where I didn't want their help because I thought, oh, I got to do it myself.
Sure.
And I'm just kind of that way anyway. But I have gotten to the point where I'll ask them for help because they want to help and they
Yeah.
volunteer to help.
They have value.
They do. They feel like then they have a sense of belonging
Yeah.
and worth.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I love about our office is when somebody comes in, they put their stuff down and they immediately fall asleep because they feel that stuff.
Wow. You
We had a guy fall asleep on the couch the other day that normally doesn't do that. But you think about, okay, at night, you have no place safe to lay your head.
Right.
And if you do, somebody's either stealing something from you or
Yeah.
beating you up, honestly.
right.
And
or you can be arrested.
or you can be arrested. So to give them that, even for a couple hours a day,
Wow.
4 days a week is just, it's huge.
Yeah. So, staying on the warming shelter for a minute. So, is the plan for the rest of the winter that we haven't even entered into yet, is it to use the same facility at this point? Have you guys gotten any more
We're
feedback?
still in meetings of that. At this point, Grace and Compass are going to provide the place. We may have a lot of things to work out because they don't have a huge space.
Correct.
So if the numbers continue to grow like they did and double every time they open, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
And we're working with other area churches, hope to get every church in this community involved. But initially, yes. And we have a sign-up sheet that's on Facebook. It's been emailed out to other volunteers and other agencies. And that we hope to have enough volunteers signed up for 4-hour shifts every night of the winter.
Yeah.
So that if the warming center's open, we've got that covered.
Yeah.
And we're not scrambling every day.
Yes.
And then our next hope is to have churches or small groups or just friend groups signed up to do meals.
Yeah.
So, okay, we know next Friday is going to be miserable and possibly even Thursday night all through that weekend. So we've already got people signed up to do
Yes.
those things. But we want to have that for every night throughout the winter. And then if we don't need it, we
Right.
don't need it.
I think we even in that meeting I was discussing like an on call, like
Yes.
you're on call for the first week of December and January.
Yep.
If people are wanting to get involved that have never done this with you guys, where do they go first? Digitally or phone call? What do they do to get involved?
On our Facebook page, if you want to join that, street level donors and volunteers, that's one place. Grace Methodist Church, Compass Church they are answering their phone and helping. Tara Lang, Jennifer Long, I'm not going to remember all the people's names. Scott Moon, who's the
Yep,
pastor at Grace Methodist. Jennifer is the pastor at Compass.
And if
Those
people don't
are-
know where Grace is, it's the pumpkin patch on Broadway.
Yes,
That's the easy way to
yes,
tell it, right?
yeah. And so those are some other names that you can look for either on Facebook or follow us.
Yes.
But it's going to be all over social media. It already is.
Wonderful.
There's a sign up genie where you can sign up to volunteer, and I think she's got dates all the way through at least February, I think.
Yeah.
But we want to feed them. The goal is to be open from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., feed them a dinner meal, and feed them a breakfast meal before they have to leave.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back at 7 p.m.
And those meals that are served at the warming shelter, where do those come from?
We hope that it'll be from churches and other volunteer groups.
We have a generous community. Hoteling has been the only option,
Yeah.
but it's also not viable to be long-term solution.
Absolutely
You
not.
ask someone for $100
Right.
every time,
Right.
then they're going to stop giving the $100. What's the long-term solution
Right.
for immediate need?
Correct.
Again, immediate need, extreme weather.
Yep.
And really, this is the best solution for that need, for that immediate need.
Yeah.
The funds that come in that were used for hoteling were often a negative bank account for us while we asked and pleaded and begged.
Right.
The people to transport them and provide meals was a scramble at
Yes.
best.
Yeah.
Because it was hurry up, we have this need right now.
Yeah.
We found out yesterday it's going to be this degree tomorrow.
Sure.
For sure. Who can help?
Yeah.
And it often fell to 3 or 4 people who.
But we did have
But with
some
a larger
churches.
group.
We
Yes.
did have some churches. 2 years ago, we knew that we had a long stint of hoteling.
Yes.
We knew the forecast for 10 days.
Yes.
And so we planned ahead for that. And we asked groups to provide what we called a hotel box. And basically, it was a box of a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly, a loaf of bread, a case of water. I don't even remember everything, but stuff they could cook in the microwave in their room.
Yeah.
And even some like frozen meals
Yeah.
that they could put in their little refrigerator. Those aren't things we normally can feed them because they have no way to cook them.
Correct.
But that hotel box, and we had LaCroix Church donated 10 of those, and it was probably a $40 to $50 box.
Sure.
Wow.
And then we have tons of individuals and just our generous donors that
Yeah.
donate every week.
Yes.
There's one very good volunteer, her and her neighborhood, and this was actually Kathy's idea. They adopted us and have kind of adopted our snack bags.
Yes.
And they bring stuff every time we have needs. And we post those needs every week and sometimes twice a week.
So I love this concept. Can you get other people on board to adopt parts of what you do so it gets off of your shoulders?
We'd be happy to do that. And
Yes, your
So-
Bible
love to have
study
those
group, your book
conversations.
club.
Yeah.
You know, whoever that group
Yeah.
of people that you come together with
Yeah.
for enjoyment.
Yeah.
And you're looking for a way to give back in your community.
Yeah.
We welcome you.
Yeah.
We have a sibling group that the brother smokes the meat and the 2 sisters work together on all the sides and the dessert.
That's fantastic.
And I mean, they love their cooking too because it's always smoked meat and it's just
I'm hungry now,
fabulous.
thank you.
Yeah.
And we have
So-
people who volunteer. We have 2 sisters who come every Wednesday and they volunteer
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah.
So lots of opportunity to give back in a lot of
Yes.
different ways.
Yeah.
And some of the other things we've not mentioned yet is we do have a clothing closet, and it is set up pretty much like a store, and they can come in and shop once a month.
Yes.
And they can get 2 outfits. We pretty much will provide every kind of clothing they could possibly need. We also
Yeah.
provide blankets and toiletries, things
Yep.
I never thought about those things until I got involved in this organization.
No.
What does a woman need once a month that you can't buy very cheaply? You know, those kind of things. Soap, shampoo.
Yeah.
And they are very creative on how they keep themselves clean. And I will tell you, most of them do a really good job of that to be living on the streets.
Wow.
So we provide those things, and we also have tents and sleeping bags and tarps.
Yep.
And we can't tell them any place to go to
course.
pitch that tent,
Yeah.
but they're creative.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can find a safe spot.
So, since you mentioned tents, I want to talk for just a minute about some of the rumors that have been milling about town over the last couple of years as this organization has taken hold. One of the rumors that I've heard over the last year has been that Street Level gives out tents, and you mentioned tents. And I've heard some very negative comments about, oh, well, they're just giving tents, they're emboldening people to camp in places they shouldn't camp. Can we address that elephant in the room?
I think of what would I do
Yeah.
if I were out there to
Yeah.
protect myself from the elements.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, and as I woke up this morning to pouring down rain,
Yeah.
and I'm going to cry,
Yeah.
I said a prayer for all our homeless people that they were safe
Yeah.
and
Yes.
dry.
Yeah.
It's very, again, their needs and ask. Yesterday morning, I woke up and thought, what if my feet were wet 24/7?
Yeah.
And so I went and bought shoe covers like you wear for protective and went to the park and handed out shoe covers. They're not easy to walk in.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than your feet being wet for the next 3 days
Yeah.
or 4 days. While you have one pair of shoes and they're wet. So it means your socks are wet, which means your feet are cold.
That's right.
Which means you're miserable. And you're walking on those feet 5, 6, 10 miles a day just to go. Now, we have places, they're creative. They may go to the public library
Yes.
and sit
Yeah.
while it's open. And then the temperature drops and it gets dark and their feet are still wet.
Right. Yeah, because the thing we keep forgetting I keep forgetting in all of this is, as wonderful of the work that is being done, it's not 24 hours a day.
No.
And there isn't an organization that's ever figured that out, not just in Cape. That's a bigger issue that we're not going to solve sitting here. But I want to I want people to hear that these are human beings just like every one of us. They have the exact same fears, needs. They have different impediments to overcome than some of us. Some are our fault as a community. Some are individual decisions. Some are circumstances that are completely out of someone's control. Some things just happen. You know, to your point earlier, Kathy, just we're all that one catastrophe away, a car wreck, an illness, a divorce, a loss of job, a loss of a child, right? I mean, just anything that can cause someone to be on tilt.
We have all of those.
All of that.
All of
We
those.
have all of
and
that.
more.
Yeah.
And more.
And so my personal opinion has always been this on these tents. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Legitimately, I would much rather somebody be able to not have water pouring on them while they're sleeping in a park that we as the community have paid for. I appreciate that there's eyesores. I appreciate that we live in a community that denigrates certain groups of people. That there's the old, California with all of its homeless. Yeah. First of all, visit California. I'd move there tomorrow. Secondly, we have those exact same problems. We just have smaller versions of them or smaller numbers of them. No community is immune from this. No community deals with this better than others necessarily. And all solutions start at the street level, at literally the street level, one-on-one with these people.
They do. Survival mode is, I believe you cannot understand survival mode unless you've been in survival mode.
Yeah.
But I try very hard to educate myself and others on what that looks like and what I've experienced with permission from our unsheltered, because once having been in survival mode, you are never the same.
Yeah.
And
it rewires your brain.
It does.
If you talk to psychiatrists,
Yes.
psychologists, it literally rewires your brain.
Because it is not about, most of us plan things, right? If not a long-term plan, a plan for the next 15 minutes, right?
Sure.
Their plan is even more immediate than that.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
what do I need to do to survive? Is that being under a pavilion? Is it being in a tent?
Yes.
Is it being at the library? Is it being at street level for a meal? They do plan around street level. I will say that. They plan around us.
Because that
speak to them,
consistency matters.
And
It
I'll
has to
offer
matter.
some temporary work to one. And he'll say, can I come after the meal today?
Yeah.
He's not asking me to provide his meal while he's working for me.
Yeah.
He's saying, I'm going to go get my meal, and then I would be available.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
they are beginning to know that.
When you spend every moment thinking about an immediate need, whether it's food, shelter, a tampon, shoes, toothpaste, you cannot think about get a job. You cannot think about go get HUD assistance for a house. You are 17 steps away from those decisions. You literally need, where am I going to sleep this moment where I don't get beat, stolen, things stolen from, raped, poor sleep, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be one of these bad things. It can just be inconsistent sleep. And so you have a psyche that's off all day tomorrow. How many of us have had a horrible night's sleep? And the next day is ruined. 2 days are ruined. I can't fathom what that's like to have weeks or months of inconsistent sleep.
The glimpses that you get of what street level does, meeting that need, the glimpses you see of transformation make it all worth it.
Yes.
Because when you give someone, and this just happened to us, when you give someone a pair of inserts for their shoes, I gave them a pair of inserts, a new pair of jeans, a pair of insulated overalls, and a winter coat. The transformation glimpse that I got is that he has hope.
Yeah.
And that hope is, maybe I can get myself to a warmer environment. There's challenges there, but maybe I can see my mom again.
Wow.
I mean, those glimpses are what made me come back over and over. It's amazing. And it's just the simplest thing. And if I offered a second pair of shoes or a second pair of jeans, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And the way they compact their lives, We go back to the tent thing. I think a lot of people think, oh, that's a ugliness that I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Most of the people that I interact with are very compact lives, very clean,
Sure.
or efforts to be clean, efforts to be compact. They're transporting this on their 2 feet,
Yeah.
24/7, and I offered, for instance, I offered a shopping cart I found that was abandoned to one person, and he said, I don't need that. I need to carry what I have. They're not looking to be an eyesore.
Yeah.
They are human beings looking to be acknowledged
Yeah.
and have needs met
And to feel loved.
and to feel love.
So, one of the other stereotypes that I think is often thrown out there is that just get a job, right? Just go file for HUD, go stand in a food line, whatever. One of the large impediments that I keep seeing in this instance is public perception. Just generally public perception of people that are in bad situations. There's always that, oh, they brought it on themselves. Oh, they have a mental instability. They have an addiction. That's what caused all of this. I would tell you, and I shared earlier with you guys just a bit about my story. I've been sober for 11 years. Alcohol was my choice, a drug of choice. It runs in my family. We talk very openly with our boys about this, of why dad doesn't drink, but mom will have wine with dinner. And so one of the things that I think we need to combat is this idea of there's something they've done wrong to put them in this situation, to cause them to have this consequence. And I think we say that to ourselves to absolve ourselves from their humanity, right? And the overwhelming majority of people in our community, that's the sentiment I hear. I hear that sentiment over and over and over again. And I hear it in silent language. I hear it in little adages that are maddening to me. What can we do as a small group of people that are involved in this to combat that mentality in this town?
So for me, it's I was in sales for my entire life.
Yeah.
And nothing makes up for face-to-face. So I share face-to-face. In my family, my brother, who's 12 years older than me, one of the holidays as I was walking out the door said, well, sis, I just want to ask you, why don't they just get a job?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't leave. I sat down and said, how much do you want to know?
Yeah.
How much do you want to know? And my best friend said, I don't really think we have that many homeless people.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
we do.
Wow.
What I showed her was to take a simple thing like she just bought a car. And I said, so you shopped for a gray car of a certain brand.
Yeah.
And you shopped for that. And that's what you wanted. And you got it. Now do you see them everywhere? I said, so the next time you see somebody standing on a corner, look them in the eye and wave. I said, the next time you'll see more.
It's literally awareness.
It is awareness.
It's definitely awareness.
Awareness, education, face-to-face.
Yeah.
Interact with the people. Don't be afraid to talk about this subject.
Yes.
Bring it up. It's all over my social media.
Yeah.
I'm all the time posting things that I found or read.
Yeah.
Now my friends are sharing.
Yeah.
And one of the radio hosts here
Do you want to
has
plug?
done several
You want to
things.
plug that? You want to plug the book?
Well, this is Beyond Homeless. The forward's by Dr. Drew Pinsky, and it's edited by Mary Thoreau, and it's called Good Intentions, Bad Outcomes, and Transformative Solutions. And it is an amazing book. Fawn on one of the local radio shows actually
radio,
had
yeah.
this person on and went through the book and hunted me down to give me the book.
Yeah.
Because it changed the way she sees. She's got a very generous heart, and she gives to a lot of organizations. But it helped her, and now she's educating her grandsons
Yeah.
about this. So again, face-to-face experiences and interaction. I always, much to the dismay sometimes of how often I invite new volunteers in when we're very busy, I invite people to contact us and figure a way that fits into their comfort zone
Yes.
to experience this. Because it's not just transformative for the people we serve.
Yeah.
It's transformative for the people doing the serving.
Yeah.
It's changed my life.
Very much so. And I had a meeting with a very small group of older women not very long ago, and their thing was they're fearful. They're fearful
Absolutely.
of the homeless, and that happened again to me yesterday. I took a meal down to a couple. I knew they were down by the flood wall.
Yeah.
And they were actually in one of the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And there was a lady that was, I don't know whether she's new to town, visiting town, whatever. She looked out of place
Yeah.
in that particular setting, and she needed to go to the restroom, and she walked in and walked right back out. And so I went in and I addressed the homeless lady that I knew was there and asked her to come out. And then that lady said, "Do you know her?" And I said, "Yes, she's one of our homeless." Said, "You don't need to be afraid." And that's what I told the group of ladies. I said, "You don't have to be afraid." But they've had bad experiences, or people are sharing stories. Well,
There it
I
is.
stopped and gave somebody my Happy Meal, and I saw him throw it on the ground as soon as I pulled away. Those kind of stories are out there. And
Right.
have we seen that happen? Yes, but most
Sure.
of the time, that's not our homeless that
Yeah.
live in downtown Cape.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that for a second. We have a Facebook page here in Cape Girardeau called Cape Area News and Beyond that is not helping this situation. And again, this is me talking. This is not street level talking. That specific Facebook page does nothing but highlight things that the controllers of that Facebook page think are bad. And I think there are things on there that all of us would agree they are bad. I own a lot of properties in town. I have some that are eyesores in this town, most certainly. Look them up. I get thrown under the bus by the authors on that page often. But here's what I'll say to that. I have confronted that on that page. I have literally said, I own this house. Here's what we're doing with this house. And those comments have been deleted. I put them up again and they're being deleted. And I'm bringing this up because so much of what people think about our homeless is horseshit. It is not grounded in reality. It is not grounded in the experiences you two have had that I don't think you ever had before this. I don't think you guys have a history of working with this community, do you?
No.
No.
Yeah. So your experiences that you're explaining over the last just few years solely comes from this one off in your life that is now transforming your lives because you are seeing the reality of what they face, how they got here, and what they need, and then their reactions to it. So we have got to protect our minds in how we share things on social media. So if you see a post of someone was grabbed by a homeless person, please do your research. Do not look and see that, oh, my friend shared it, therefore it's true. 99 times out of 100, it's not. It's not true. Or it happened in blah, blah, Nebraska, or wherever that isn't Cape Girardeau. We have got to, as a community, do better here with this issue in what we share and what we talk about on our social medias, because that is one of the largest impediments, I think, in stopping good people who are generous from helping.
I go back to my sales experience and
Yes.
history when I'm working this subject as well. And that is to, I don't ignore negativity,
Yes.
but I address it in
Yes.
kindness
Yes.
and truth
Yes.
and in sharing of positive stories and personal experience. And again, that face to face.
Yeah.
And I also, what would you do to change things?
Yeah.
Engage them
Yeah.
by asking, what do you think the solution is?
Yep.
You've obviously got a hard opinion, a line.
Sure.
Tell me
Sure.
why you feel that way and
Yeah.
what you think would make a difference.
And what have you done?
And you know
what
what?
are you doing?
People have surprised me both ways.
Okay.
People have surprised me. Oh, I never thought about it. What if you did this?
Yeah.
Well, we tried that. Well, what if you did this?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, they're interested and they want
Engaging.
more education.
Yeah.
And the Facebook page I want to plug again, the Volunteer and Donor Street Level Cape Girardeau Volunteer and Donor page. Join that group.
Yeah.
That group, they're engaged, but they also push back. They question from the littlest thing to the biggest thing, like where can we give and when can we give, and what if we can't give during those hours?
Yeah.
And what if I can't do this? I have a girl I grew up with who lives in Kentucky. She's lived all over the world. She lives in Kentucky and sends a monthly donation because this is her hometown.
Yeah.
And she's engaged through that page.
So, and that keys in on another thing I want to talk about briefly, and I want to wrap this up sooner because I've taken so much of y'all's time today, and we'll revisit some of this in future conversations. But Do you have donors that are giving recurring funds, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever that is? How does that support what Street Level is doing, and how do we get that word out specifically?
We do have a handful of donors that support us monthly.
Yep.
And honestly, because some of our donations come from an Amazon and a Walmart wish list, we don't always know who
Okay.
our donors are.
Okay.
So it's
you're
anonymous.
publishing some lists
Yes.
that you need that people can buy from the Facebook page, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll
Okay.
publish a needs list a couple times a week.
Yes.
What we need for our snack bags, and they can just go to Amazon and have it shipped directly to us.
And they're just delivered to you. Okay.
Yes. It doesn't come to our office. It comes to one of our very good volunteers, and
Sure.
they sort through it and bring it to us.
Nice.
But that has been so very helpful.
Yep.
Because people don't even have to get out of their PJs.
Correct.
Right.
To do that kind of donation.
Yep.
But we would love to have some other donations. Every single dollar that we receive goes to either our rent,
Mm-hmm.
which is about $1,000, maybe $1,200 with all of our expenses
Okay.
for internet and our rent.
Yep.
And we've tried to keep that very low, and that's been almost impossible here in Cape Girardeau.
Yeah.
And the facility that we're in, while we are very thankful for that space, we're about to run out of
Yes.
space there.
Yeah.
And we'd like to see some other things happen. We'd love to have showers, which we don't have. We'd love to have laundry facilities, which we don't have. But those are dreams.
Yeah.
And if we could get the funding, we'd be happy to just move forward with some of those.
Yeah.
But individual donations can be mailed to our post office box, which is P.O. Box 1686 here in Cape. We have a Give Butter app that you can set up a recurring monthly donation. You can do Venmo, you can do Cash App, PayPal. We have all those things, and all of those things are listed on the Facebook page.
We have a donation bin at the UPS store in Cape Girardeau, another centrally located,
Oh, nice.
very frequented place. Brandon Leffler, the owner, has been very generous in allowing us to have a big barrel there. It is full this morning. He
Wonderful.
texted me. It's getting more and more notice, but you
Yeah.
can go in and get your stamps or do your
Yeah.
postage or have a mailbox there and then
Yep.
just drop off. We have organizations who, through their business, generate clothing and then have to go through that seasonally, who donate to us and make us the recipient of their excess clothing. We have groups that do activities like put together cutlery packages or do peanut butter cups. I just had a young woman contact me, and she has a youth Bible group. Youth serving our demographic can be difficult, right?
Absolutely.
Because we have a variety of people who have a lot of issues, right? From mental incapacity to addiction. So having the youth
Yeah.
involved with them directly can be an issue, but allowing them to do a peanut butter cup or make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches
Yep.
or snack bags or cookies allows them to see and learn about that demographic from a protected distance.
My brain is going nuts with ideas. I'm a connector. You guys know this. That's my gift, is putting people together. So what I'm hearing is we need individuals to start setting up a weekly, monthly, quarterly donation. Call it a tithe, call it a donation, whatever you want. It is tax deductible because you're a
Absolutely,
503c.
yes.
You'll get an annual statement somehow. We need people to check the Facebook page individually to hit that wish list from Amazon or Walmart or wherever. I'm hearing we need civic organizations to get involved as groups to sponsor something, be it sponsor the coats for the wintertime. Like pick one thing in one category, right?
Yes.
And just say this group's going to take care of that need this winter. We need civic and church together, same thing, to sponsor some of that stuff. We need to get businesses involved. You mentioned UPS, locally owned, another great company. We need to be able to have those kind of drop-off points. We need to be able to have any business that does something that could benefit the homeless. I'm in the housing business, so we house people out of homelessness every day. I got literally a lady 2 days ago housed in one of our buildings that I protect for putting people coming out of either addictions through the Gibson Center, the other counseling centers, or out of homelessness. And we have 3 or 4 units that we use for that. There are other ways that other businesses can get involved.
Oh my goodness.
Tangentially.
One large one would be anybody who is a certified therapist or counselor, whether it be art
Yes.
therapy
Yes.
or conversationalist therapy. Our people are in, again, survival mode. They need support. Again, I go to my own personal experience. I sat down one day when we had a lot of volunteers and talked to a young man for about 7 or 8 minutes. And he told me his story. And he asked if he could hug me afterwards. So a couple of weeks go by, and my husband and I are there making a donation, and he sees us in the parking lot, and he says, "Can I hug you?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I looked at my husband, and I said, "This is the young man I told you I talked with." He goes, "Oh, no, you didn't talk. You listened." So if there's anybody out there that wants to donate some time and can just come and sit, or stay in the parking lot, or just come down and pick up trash out of our parking lot and see if anybody interacts with you.
Yeah.
Again, to be seen, to be heard, to have someone listen genuinely to you is a seed of hope. It's a seed of hope while they have a meal, while they get some toiletries. And they feel safe here. So people that come here, first I want to say it may take you several visits. It may take you months. It might take you years. I don't know. Each person's different. But I have a young man who didn't say 10 words to me in 6 months, who literally took me to my knees last week when he turned around as he left and came back to hug me.
Yeah.
They want connection. They seek hope, and everyone needs love and to be seen. And that's at the core.
I think that's a great way to end. Thank you, ladies, for taking time today. I've learned a ton. I'm going to just throw a couple things out there. We need people to get involved as we just laid out. I'm going to challenge some of my business friends to come up with ways they can get involved. We're meeting at a building downtown that I'm personally working on as a passion project. I want to continue this conversation here. I want to start having some ongoing meetings with civic people in this building downtown to engage them in what we can do at the city level, what we can do at the grant level. We have some really good grant writers in this town. What we can do at the church level. This building is open for that anytime we need to do it 24/7. I want to challenge some of my friends that have spaces where counselors could meet, even if they're not a counselor themselves, or if they have the ability to give somebody a place to shower or laundry. Those are big deals. I can't fathom what it's like to not know how or where you're going to launder your clothes. And then you have to stay there while it's happening, right? Or where you're going to store your stuff. So we've got some things we need to overcome. But the immediate need going into winter is warming shelter, food, and cash. I mean, those are the immediate needs going into winter. And we've got to keep that front and center, or we're going to have people dying on our streets this winter because the needs are going to explode. So whatever we've done is not enough because it's going to get worse this winter. So appreciate you ladies and Scott for being here today. Look forward to continuing the conversation.
You're very welcome. Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That was fun.
It was fun. It lights me on fire every time I speak one-on-one with Nancy or Chris, especially the two of you together today, because, and you too, I love that you got engaged in those questions, because that's what I'm talking about. And it lights a fire under us, and we go back, and I guarantee you, in the next 3 days, one or both of us will spend 10 to 20 hours more than we would have educating, investigating, posting, doing, because of conversations like this. That's what it does. It lights fires and it generates interest.
The other thing that I should have said as we were finishing up is there is so much waste in this community.
Oh my goodness.
In the way of food that is thrown away in the dumpsters. In the winter, our friends get their food out of the dumpsters.
Are you
In the
recording?
summer, they can't do that. Because
Yes.
the
So Nancy,
food's gonna
let's
spoil.
talk about that for a minute. We're recording again.
Okay.
So what Nancy just said was one of the things we need to talk about quickly is the amount of waste that we all create in our homes, in our restaurants, in our businesses. There are things that anybody in need could use that we all throw away and don't think twice about it. Restaurants are easy to pick on because they have so much food waste, as do grocery stores.
Right.
Yes.
How do we engage them, and how do we get that? How do we put two and two together?
Panera is one of those, by the way. I just want to throw this out there. Before they answer, when I lived in Springfield,
Yes.
when it was Springfield Bread Co. before it switched over to Panera,
Yes.
we happened to go, my wife and I went down, my ex-wife now, but we went down to the Springfield Bread Company on Campbell, and they gave us loaves of bread.
At the end of the night.
Yeah, at the end of the night, toward the end of their shift, they were going to throw it
Right.
out anyway.
Panera is very generous.
Yeah.
Panera donates their leftovers to multiple organizations.
It's part of their
within the community.
corporate culture.
It's
It
part
is
of the, part of
awesome.
the culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
And-
said they were donating it to the Missouri Hotel, which is the agency. It's either the name of the hotel or the agency in Springfield, Missouri, and the old part of old downtown Springfield they have this hotel for warming shelter. They happen to have someone was generous enough to buy an old hotel, and they house their homeless.
Wow, that's
That's
Which is
impressive.
which is insane.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Cape can do that, but that
It could.
could be a way forward. One
and
day.
Springfield had a very bad homeless
Yes.
problem in the 90s.
Yes.
This generosity can come from anyone. Again, because we are grassroots, we have come from nothing to where we are today,
Yeah.
and the growth now is accelerating.
Right.
Bring your leftovers.
Yeah.
Let us know in advance so we can make some arrangements the next day. Those do not go unwasted. We take everything. Anybody who gives us anything, we freeze it, reuse it, move it. I had a homeless person go to a pantry, get a ham. They have no way to fix a ham. So they
Right.
brought it to me. Another man used his SNAP benefits to get a ham. Now we have ham and beans going to be made.
Wow.
So the restaurants are easy to pick
Hold
up.
on. Did you just say someone used their SNAP benefits to buy a ham and donate it to somebody else?
Over
Yes.
and over.
Wow.
The homeless give me their extra food from the food pantries
Yep.
that they can't use. They bring to us. We have a grocery shelf for those who
They're
can't.
generous to each other,
Yes.
which is another small cultural thing that people don't realize is that
Right.
they will give to each other.
When we
on
live
the
these
street.
insulary
They can-
lives,
yeah.
removed from each other, we forget what it's like to be in community.
And going into, as you mentioned, a hard winter, hard times, before you throw that item in the trash, just say to yourself, what if?
Yeah.
It's a powerful two words. What if I was able to give this to someone? And if not our organization, maybe we can guide you or some other organization can guide you to that. Thrifting and reuse is a sign of love, right?
Yeah.
Not wasting. America's the most wasteful country in the world.
Yeah, we are.
We are all very blessed to have been born and lived here or to have immigrated here. And our waste is unbelievable.
Right.
As I've gotten older, I've noticed that things don't matter as much, and it's much easier for me to give. I challenge people who are, I'm 62, I challenge our demographic who are already unloading and getting rid of things to find someone who can use that. The organizations in town that have meals for meetings have been very generous.
Yes.
We had a benefit at one of the local organizations. I'll plug them, Knights of Columbus.
Yeah.
They had a benefit for
Yeah.
someone. They overcooked. They brought us 90 gallons of food at 9:30 on a Saturday night to my house.
Okay.
Wow.
I called my neighbors. We came together with Tupperware and pans
Wow.
and refrigerators and one of our other board members who came over, and we filled and we fed. The next day, our meal train was empty. We had nobody who sponsored. We fed 60 people that day. We gave away, we fed 13 families that were hand delivered with this extra food, and we had another meal frozen that we opened up and used.
So, one of the concerns restaurants and grocery stores have is liability. So I don't want to ignore that.
Right.
That they're fearful of getting sued. Right. We live in a litigious society. How do we overcome that? How do we deal with that? How do you say trust us? I mean, do we have a waiver? What do we do here?
We never really thought about a waiver, and we've had so many people be
Okay.
so generous.
So maybe
But-
we're making more of it than it is. Maybe
Well,
we're okay.
And we have had some donors that have said no because either it's a health department violation
Yep.
or they are concerned about the liability.
Or
Yeah.
corporate.
And
Or corporate,
or corporate
says, okay,
says
right,
no.
yeah. And you're not going to change that culture necessarily. But.
Right, and I will say that, not the word is never. There have been occasions where we have thrown out a couple of meals.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
We have dates, so we date everything on the
really
package
smart,
and
yeah.
on a board on our refrigerators and freezers that says
Yeah.
this is when we got it. We rotate that food
Yeah.
forward, and if there's something that's questionable, of course it has to go.
Right. Yeah. We're not going to make people sick by.
right.
And right,
Has that
because
happened?
what we're doing is trying to keep them from
Correct.
eating that out of the dumpster.
Yeah.
So,
Because that's where they're going if we don't have the meal.
yeah, so they're instead of
Wow.
dumpster diving, but has that happened through donated meals? Have people gotten sick?
I'm not aware of anybody that's
I've
gotten
never
sick.
had someone tell me they got sick.
So maybe again we're overblowing that. But
Yeah,
then
I
here's
think
the,
we're overthinking it. Absolutely.
but then here's the other part of that, and you just said it. I guess I never thought about this. Is let's say someone did get an upset stomach from this. What's happening when they're dumpster diving?
Right.
Like if that's the option, like
yeah, there's the
I know what my
alternative.
answer is.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. In our
So-
toiletries closet, we keep plenty of Pepto-Bismol and Imodium IV because those people come to us and say,
Yeah.
I must have had
Wow.
bad chicken I
Sure.
ate out of the
Wow.
dumpster at such and such restaurant.
Yeah. So okay, so friends of ours that own restaurants, like let's figure out how we get this to you guys. Let's figure out how we get things from the grocery stores that are going to be thrown away, that are out of date, that we know don't that we all would
mean,
Or
Really,
even
do you-
overstock.
overstock. Yeah.
One of our local stores that's very close to our office constantly gets more stuff than they can fit in their
Yeah.
refrigerated coolers.
Yes.
And they'll bring us the overflow.
Yeah.
And that's really one employee that does that.
Yeah.
She said, I can, in good conscience, throw stuff that's in date
That's right.
in the dumpster.
That's right.
She brought me, I bet, no exaggeration, 15 gallons of milk the other day.
Holy
I
cow.
was going to mention
And they
though,
weren't expired.
Holy cow.
because of delivery systems. Now think about this is America. Delivery systems. They deliver once a week to this organization where they keep their milk full, right?
Yeah.
So the next week they come and the milk is going to go bad before the next delivery.
Correct.
Guess where it goes?
Trash can.
Yep.
What about our schools? What are they doing? Are our schools throwing away food here?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this out, and we're gonna use this with some connections. I was at an event with assistant superintendent 2 winters ago. He told me that on any given night in Cape Girardeau, there are over 100 kids in the Cape public school system that are homeless. Now think about this. I made the face you just made. And again, this is the person that knows that on any given night in Cape Girardeau, there are 100 children that are sleeping on somebody else's couch, sleeping in a car, going to grandma's house. That's homeless.
Yes.
That doesn't mean living in the park in a tent.
Right.
They're homeless kids. There's over 100 every night in Cape Girardeau. So here's the thing. If we have our school system throwing away food, that's part of the problem. If we have restaurants throwing away food, that's part of the problem. Like, we can put this together. I think what you want of homeless people sleeping in a park in a tent. Fine. We have 100 children every night that do not have a home to sleep in tonight.
And probably don't have a meal.
And probably,
So the excess could easily go home with them. They don't care to eat a hamburger twice a day.
Yes.
Or a piece of pizza twice a day.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm way off on this, but what I am picturing, not maybe as a solution, but it just is my brain just kind of went, is at the rear of each restaurant, we come up with some kind of warming container, and then the extra goes in that, and then one of their volunteers goes by,
Picks it up.
and picks it up.
Can be labeled even.
I've just thrown out like I don't know who the logistics
Pizza
behind
warming
that.
bags. something
One of
like
the worst parts of this logistic is that we had an opportunity last week to get all the leftovers from a restaurant at midnight.
that. Yeah.
So if the restaurant could be inclined just to have it till opening,
Wow.
9 a.m., the first time somebody shows up, not even the opening of their restaurant. We don't want to get involved with your 11 o'clock crowd.
Sure.
But if you're there at 9 o'clock prepping, we can probably get volunteers to come by and
Absolutely.
pick up that
Not
food
at
9
midnight.
a.m.
Which also then
Midnight's
means-
difficult.
Which also then means it's not sitting in that dumpster where people are going to dumpster dive it and potentially have really foodborne illness.
There's
Right.
a cycle.
So we're actually solving.
Some kind of container. I don't
Okay.
know what that container looks
All
like.
right, so we need to challenge somebody that's in the manufacturing world to help us come up with something that you can buy, you can make, that's a warming box. Okay,
Just a thought.
okay,
Or even
Also-
ways
Or even a
people that-
refrigerated box.
or refrigerated box.
Yeah.
The other side. Yep.
Yeah, and I just want to add this in before we conclude is that you've changed my mentality and the way I look at this, because I've always taught, I've got a 21-year-old and a 16-year-old he'll be 16 in March. And what I always tell them whenever we see someone that is struggling on the side or homeless is I'll tell them, just remember you're only one bad decision away from being where they are.
Yeah.
And I've been using them as a cautionary tale. I am no different
Yeah.
than when my mother, and I'm throwing my mother under the bus, she would always, there was a gas station in Sykeston where it was one of those back in the 80s where you'd pull in, the door, the thing would ding and the guy would come out, and a full service station back when we still had those. And the guy had his name on his jersey or his shirt. She goes, remember, you do good in school and you won't end up like him. Like, wait a second, this guy's he's got a full-time job.
Right.
And what's funny is what happened is I ended up with my name on my jersey because I was in the Army for
Because you were in
20
the
years,
military.
which is kind of ironic.
Yeah.
But what am I'm going to see my kids next week for Thanksgiving. How I'm going to change my wording is I listened to what you said. We're only one catastrophe away.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily their fault. It's one thing snowballing and leading to another.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you find yourself, I'm behind on my rent or my mortgage. Now I don't have a car, so I can't get to my job. Now I've lost my job.
Yeah.
And it's just snowballing, and now I've got nowhere to go.
And that snowball happens in 10 days.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Seriously,
very
happens in
fast.
10 days.
Yeah.
The young man.
How did I get here? You said, how did I get here?
Yeah.
I don't even know where I
That's
am.
it. And the stories are repetitive. How did I get here?
Yeah.
And very quick.
Yeah.
The man who he dropped dead for 8 minutes of a heart attack.
Holy cow.
Okay, so now he has to see a doctor. It's very recent, so he sees a doctor twice a week. Usually, he has to walk there because what happened was he dropped dead of a heart attack. He lost his income. His wife kicked him out. He lived in his van.
Wow.
His van quit working. Now he's walking. He's worked since he was 10 years old.
Wow.
But now he's unemployable. He doesn't have an address.
Correct.
Okay? We need addresses. He doesn't have an address, so he can't get hired. He has to be off twice a week for a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
This happened while
That-
he died for 8 minutes.
That also probably requires medicine that you can't afford.
Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you get your phone stolen.
Yeah.
Then you have no way for an employer, even if you can apply in
Correct.
person, which is very seldom anymore.
Correct.
You have no way for them to get hold of you.
Yeah.
Then you have no mailing address, like she said.
Yeah.
Then you get your ID stolen.
Yeah.
Then you don't have the 2550 or the other forms of identification. You need to get your driver's license or
Correct.
your state ID,
It just
whatever it might be.
snowballs.
I mean, it snowballs. I had a conversation with a guy yesterday. He said, I don't even know where to start. He said,
Yeah.
I don't have the money to get my ID. I have my social security card, but I don't have my birth certificate. You know, and honestly, one thing that we need is somebody that would be willing to take that person and say, okay, Joe, we're going to take you and we're going to get your birth certificate. We're
Yeah.
going to get your social security
Yep.
card. We're going to get your driver's license. Then we're going to help you get a phone, whatever it takes.
So,
Sounds like a case manager.
so a big brother.
Almost like a case manager,
a
yes.
big brothers, big sisters adoption,
Shouldn't-
where we need a family, a civic organization, a church, a business, a group of friends to adopt. I'm going to take this person, and they're going to become part of our extended group, family, whatever you want to call that, clan, and we're going to take that person and do all those
That-
things.
I don't think you could say clan.
It's amazing. My husband and I have kind of, I never looked at it that way, but that's what we've done with one of the homeless that we
Yeah.
connected with. It was actually the person who didn't speak to me for 10 words in 6 months, but who turned around and hugged me, and we've kind of taken him on. And we recently gave him his Christmas present, and he cried. He said, I cannot remember the last time somebody thought of a gift for me. And this book talks about the first solution everyone thinks with homeless is being homed, being sheltered, right? Very important, obviously, because homeless, being homed.
Yeah.
But home first is not the long-term solution. Actually, home first is another impediment. You walk into this blank room with nothing but a backpack,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
What you need is that seed of hope, the feeling of love, the being seen, and then the adoption of,
Yeah.
let's start with one obstacle. How do we raise $25? No, how do we investigate getting your birth certificate? And if it's a $10 fee, how do we raise that $10 fee to help this person?
Yeah.
Because how you change homeless is not providing a home. You change homelessness by providing an environment that allows you to regain society's values of an address, an ID, a phone. Phone is almost as important as food these days.
Yes.
You have to be connected. I see so many people talk about, and my brother, I'll throw him under the bus. My husband, he was smoking a cigarette. He probably picked it up off the ground.
Yeah.
Okay? And what
Right.
else do I have to do for 24 hours a day?
Right.
What about, all the obstacles that they talk about? Get a job. He's smoking. He's got a cell phone. He's got a nicer phone than I do. Well, there was a time where they got phones for free.
Correct.
We take donated phones and try to get them unlocked. If you can take your old phone that you're going to get $10 for,
Brilliant.
have it unlocked while you're there getting your brand new $1,000 phone,
Yeah.
bring it to us. Because we provide, and a lot of places provide free Wi-Fi. They can get on the internet. They can go to our website. They can find food pantries. They can find shelter. They get information.
We have free Wi-Fi downtown, don't we?
I believe
I
we
think we
do.
have free citywide downtown.
Downtown has
some
Wi-Fi.
Some of the parks even have them
Street
now.
level has Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Some of the parks have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yes.
The library, some public buildings, Osage Center, I believe, has Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And they can walk there and use that resource for something as simple as, is it going to rain tonight?
You made a comment, Nancy. I think it was either you or your daughter in the meeting at Grace Church, Grace Methodist last week, that they don't even know what the weather is going to be tomorrow.
They don't.
And so, like, we again breaking down stereotypes here that we're all guilty of. By the way, it's easy to throw other people under the bus, but we're all guilty of this. Of, well, shouldn't they have known better? Yeah, no, they don't know what time it is.
No.
It's, where's the sun? Oh, it's cloudy. I don't know what time it is.
Constantly ask as I would drive through the park on my way here or there in my daily life, what time is it?
Yeah.
Is it going to rain later? Do you know the weather?
Yeah.
I have to get to street level. Do I have enough time to walk there before they close? And you think the repetitiveness of something would be, we have so many people who ask us who we serve, do I get a snack bag today? Yes, today's the day you get a snack bag.
Wow.
They can't remember. Again, you have to think survival mode is right now, this minute.
And they may not know what day it is either.
They don't know
Well,
what
yeah,
day it
so-
is. They
No,
don't
a
know
lot
what
don't.
time it is.
And that's not ignorance. That's just they're all running together.
That's part of the issue with them going forward is they truly don't understand the day they live in because their brain is constantly erasing trauma. And so we can't expect them to act how we would act, or we can't impose upon them our ideas of what you should do in this
I'm
moment.
constantly telling my husband that. He's very pragmatic and very green personality, who, what, when, where, and why.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have to stop
Yeah.
trying to make them think the way you think.
Yeah.
They do not process information in the same manner, not at this point in their life.
Yeah.
And often we'll see a glimpse of intelligence that was unexpected. And it always takes me aback because then I realize that I was cutting them short in my thoughts of them. I was limiting how I felt about their intelligence until
Wow.
they show it to me.
Wow.
And
Some of the stories that when you get to know these people and they start talking to you, their backgrounds have been, very affluent.
Yeah.
I had a conversation yesterday with one of our guys, and he said, yeah, I saw this one particular car outside your husband's shop the other day, and he said, I really like that. And it was a car I'd never even heard of, some German model car.
Sure.
And, he knew all about this car. And he's a particular guy who needed a new pair of shoes. And we have a very generous donor who buys us gift cards to Nearly Perfect. So I took this guy to Nearly Perfect and got him a new pair of shoes. He knew every brand that was on that shelf and what was good about him and what was bad about him. And he'd been a manager at a store, and he's one of them that helps at the office. And he actually is very good at directing other people too.
Yeah.
And because he managed.
Yeah.
And he is a neat Nick. He's very clean, and he will help us clean after every office hours. And it's just amazing. You don't know these people's background.
Right.
Many of them had very, very good jobs. They lived in mansions.
if you didn't
know,
see
it's-
them as homeless first,
Right.
Yes.
you wouldn't interact with them the same way.
That's right.
Yeah.
So-
If you see them as homeless
Yeah.
first, your brain stops.
Yeah.
We are,
Or as Scott said, a
mental.
cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Like when we
Right.
see them as a cautionary tale, they're now not human.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
I have to add one thing to this podcast, if you can include it, and that's a challenge to our city. It is such a basic right to be able to use a restroom.
So I was literally going to have this conversation
Yes.
next.
And
We
our
have-
city
we-
chooses to blame the homeless for vandalism. And as an excuse for that, they lock our restrooms. They use our taxpayers' money to pay an individual to lock every restroom
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
every night and unlock it
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And to me, I am livid.
Yeah.
I pay
would agree.
taxes.
Yeah.
If I want to drive to the park that is closed
Yeah.
at 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
walk into a restaurant
Yeah.
room and urinate,
Right.
I deserve that. I paid for that restroom.
Yeah.
It makes me angry. Our homeless
Yeah.
for the most part, are never going to do anything
No.
Yeah.
to a restroom that
Yeah.
they need
Yeah.
Yeah.
to use.
So I can speak a little bit to this one because I've actually had this conversation with the leadership of Cape.
I can too, so I'll piggyback.
And the
off what you
comment
said.
that I got back wasn't that it was the homeless, ironically enough. I was expecting that. It was because my exact comment was in Kappahaw Park, in Arena Park, we have that beautiful facility right there, the bathroom facility. And I asked, A, could it be open 24/7? B, if it needs to be staffed, is there not a grant for that somehow? Or can we not figure that out as a community? And then C, how do we do an addition where we add shower facilities that are not open 24/7 that would probably require being manned? Kind of like a truck stop bathroom where you go into a room that's, say, 12 by 10, and so you've got a space where you can set your things. You could be in there for 30 minutes. You could a sink, a toilet, a shower. They're safe. And the feedback I got was when those were first built a few years back, the week they were built, they had some teenagers that roamed the neighborhoods at night, and they went in there and destroyed it. And they actually had camera, I think, from Arena looking at it to know who it was, and that happened several times. And I remember it happening. I was doing some work for the city over there at that time, and they were. I mean, there was feces on the walls, toilets ripped off the walls, sinks ripped off the walls, but it was a group of teenagers. So it doesn't solve the problem
Right.
knowing that answer, but there is a way to do it. I mean, I can
That would be
get
my next question. How do we change that? Do we
Yeah.
have a registry with the city of Cape that says, I am Kathy Kramer. My ID for the public
Yeah.
restrooms is code 1234, and there's
Yeah.
a code. We spent
Yeah.
money on
Yeah.
anti-vandalism sinks, anti-vandalism commodes
Wow.
as taxpayers to put into the newer restrooms.
Yeah.
Can we put an entry code on there
Sure.
that says Kathy Kramer went into this bathroom
Wow.
at 11 o'clock and left at 11:10?
Yeah.
I'm on. I
Yeah.
don't know anybody who wouldn't. You're not taking all my other information. You're
Yeah.
just saying I'm liable for walking in and out of a bathroom.
Right.
That's accessible to me. It is still locked,
Yeah.
but it's now accessible to me.
Yeah, and I
You could give those codes out to the people that you serve, correct?
And I firmly promise you that I can get a handful of people that are in the construction world, and we can get an addition put onto that thing. We would have to do it to city code. We would have to do it to the standards of ADA and all those things. But I guarantee you I could get a couple of us in the construction world, and we could build shower facilities on that thing. I have no idea what it costs sitting here, but we could take care of that in 4 phone calls.
So again, a tiny step in that stairway to
Yeah.
I have an ID,
Yeah.
I have an address, I'm
Yeah.
clean,
Yeah,
I can keep myself clean
yeah,
consistently
Yeah.
in order to get a job. And
Yeah.
then the next level, way down that stairway of steps or that pathway of steps, is the housing situation.
Right.
Which is not just to put them into an apartment.
yeah,
I think we have to look, as you're looking further down the road, you look at some type of a counseling centered accountability program where they check into a room, there's a community bathroom, it's like a boarding house, a transformative stepping stone.
Yeah.
Because they do not remember social etiquette, let
Sure.
alone how to pay their bills.
yeah.
No matter how smart they are, they've gone to survival mode.
So imagine, okay, let's dream for a minute. Imagine we had a facility that was like a college dorm that I experienced, where you go to the end of the hall, there's a pole, and we're all showering together. Imagine a place that you had that, and then imagine that on the first floor you had individual offices for all of the not-for-profits in our community, because each of the not-for-profits that we mentioned in the beginning have a different role in this equation, right?
Yes.
So, and I'm going to make some generic statements, and some of them are going to be right, some of them are going to be wrong, but I do work on a lot of these buildings. I mean, the Gibson Center, when it comes to addiction counseling, best in the book, right? Community Counseling Center, best at mental health counseling by far. The ladies that run that are CEO and CFO come from the counseling world. Like, I mean, they do the hard cases that we don't even want to talk about. You've got community, you've got CPCMO that does have showers on site. They do some lunches throughout the week. They've got places where people can go, but they close. They're good at grant dollars. They're good at housing vouchers. They're good at getting people into some of these other things. You've got Catholic Charities, which has a whole different structure. They're good at divvying out checks for people that are struggling to get through to the next thing. I mean, all of these organizations, one city that's now renamed Grace, they have work-life balance, work-life programs where people can get get a diploma of sorts for going through these. They'll help people with transportation. We have all of these things in place, as was noted in the meeting at Grace Methodist Church the other night. They don't work together. And I've sat in many of these meetings where they're all like, oh, yes, we do. And I'm like, you show up to the same luncheons. That's not working together. But imagine a place where you had a dormitory style on the first floor. You had each one of these agencies, and literally you went down and you're like, okay, we need a driver's license. Don't have one of those. Go over there and they'll help you figure out how to get a driver's license. Go over there to get your birth certificate ordered. And you could literally have one-stop shop in a hallway of needs.
I've got bumps.
That's kind of what I was alluding. That's what I was alluding to
Yeah.
earlier when I was asking you, do you work with these other agencies, or is it just pocket here, pocket here? Pocket
Historically,
here?
it's been that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of what it sounds like
Right.
to me. Is
I
that
love
we're
it.
we're not
So
putting the pieces. It's a puzzle, and you guys
And
need to
it
be.
comes together, you know, at the Shawnee Center when they have that event, or the Osage Center where they come in and they have a dentist, a hairdresser,
Yes.
the people who can get you your ID, the people who can take your blood pressure, East Missouri Agency, the counseling,
Yep.
street
But it
level,
happens
whoever's
once
there.
or twice a year.
Right.
Yep.
And it's
Needs to happen
and
all the
it's-
time.
And it's during the week, and these people are taking their work hours and spending their. We have to get the people there.
yeah.
They're downtown. They're
Correct.
not at the Shawnee Center or the Osage Center.
Correct.
It's a long walk.
Yes, it is.
The experience has to be good, and we need accountability for that.
Yeah.
We need to understand your experience, the survey as they leave, the talking to people as they're there. What did you like? What didn't you like? What was missing?
Yeah.
And it has to be more than twice a year.
Yeah. So since we're building a dream board here, which I wasn't intending, but I'm glad we're having this conversation too. I need somebody to find us a piece of ground that we can dream big with what to build there. I can get us in the room with the right people with the city that will help us figure out how to walk through this. So I need somebody to find us a piece of ground where we can develop this. I would go so far as to say that I need to engage with Southside Farms about the May Green School and see what we could do even with a building like that to put temporary housing on the second floor. And
You mean the school that's basically abandoned?
the school that's been empty for decades that St. Francis, I believe, bought for the Southside Farms project, which has been sitting there. I've been here for 20 plus years and it's been nothing in 20 years. Renita Green tried to do something with
I
it.
think
but she
they
got-
have a few meetings in there once in a while, and
And
that's
there
about
was
it.
some storage for the
Yeah.
foster kids'
Yeah.
furniture.
Yeah.
at
So
one
so
point.
we need to engage these kind of people to find out what we can do to get that kind of a building. That's easier than building new, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, and as the guy in Cape that probably owns more houses south of 74th than anybody else, like I'll vote for it. I pay more taxes down there than anybody else does. That's what we've got to do. We've got to dream big in this stuff.
Well, it is, and you can't just see, as I said, everybody sees homeless being home
Yeah,
as
legit.
the solution. It's not.
Yeah.
It has,
Has
to be this
the
stair
whole
step.
gambit.
Yeah. Yeah. Homelessness is the
The
goal.
most successful addicts don't leave a recovery program
Yeah.
and go home.
That's right.
Right?
That's
They
right.
go through a halfway house. People
Yeah.
who leave incarceration go through a halfway house. You have to help these people find their place back in society. Help them
reincorporate.
relearn
Yeah.
how to function.
Yeah, the goal is to learn how to throw a curveball. You got to learn to stand on the pitching mound first. You got to learn what a catcher is. The goal is to get into a house that is stable long term. But there's 47 other things,
Yes,
52,
first,
12
yes.
other things that we've got to meet those needs first. And one of those is food today, shower today, laundry today. And that is the goal of street level, is the today need to create some semblance of stability today, along with these other organizations that then gets us to have the conversation of what is next.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's wrap that there.
Fabulous.
We could go on for hours with this.
Yes, we could. And I have got to use the restroom.
Yeah.